work? I think we're going to work. Hello, my friends. I'm so happy to be back. I'm hoping everything is going. Do we have a mic? I don't know if we have a mic. 1 second. Is this going to work? Okay, we do have a mic. Okay, this is great. This is great news. I apologize, friends. We're trying to get a new setup. This is just my temporary setup until I get my actual new office set up. So I'm just trying my best to make sure everything works. And alas, we've always run into some issues, but nevertheless, I'm happy to be here. I'm so excited. I've missed you guys over the last couple weeks, so I'm really excited to do a manicure tonight. We're going to be doing both hands. I'm going to be adding some tips because I broke three of my nails. We're in rough shape. So tonight we are going to be putting on tips and doing the whole thing. So I'm pretty excited about it. While we are going, please feel free to ask questions in the chat. I'm happy to answer any questions as we go. And I know that we always have some friends that jump in and are happy to help out as well. So let's get into it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is use my nail cleanser. I've already removed my cuticles using my Blue Cross cuticle remover. So now all I need to do is cleanse the nails. Camera, I swear, I am done with the problems today. Okay. All we have to do now is cleanse the nails, and then I'm going to add my tips, and then I'm going to get into dipping and show you guys the complete step-by-step process. So very excited about that. Also, I apologize that the lighting is not good. I still got to work on a couple things to get this sorted, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So if you guys want my DIY nail cleanser recipe, it is shared in my nail prep video, which I have shared in the caption below. Also, all products that I'm going to be using this evening are also shared in the caption, so you can check it out there at any point during the video. So without further ado, let's get these nails cleaned and let's apply these tips. Now, I did actually forget to link the tips that I'm using, which just figures, right? It just absolutely figures that I would do that. So I will add those in later so that you guys can check them out. Also, I was painting my front door. I have paint that I cannot get off from under my nail. So if anybody's wondering what that is, it is paint. I'm a disaster. I'm a complete disaster. Anywho, let's get into it. All right. I think everything here is going. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I do have my little half tips. Now, the reason that I like half tips is I just find them so much easier to apply. Everybody has their own preference. Some people love full coverage. I'm not hating on full coverage. There's nothing wrong with full coverage. I find these ones so much easier to work with. So I do highly recommend those. I'm going to move this out of the way so that way we've got a little bit less shadow. So these are the tips that I'm going to apply, and they've also got this handy little tab on them. So that makes them a little easier to apply as well. So I'm going to grab my nail glue. Tonight I'm just using the Kiss brush on nail glue. And the first thing I'm going to do, so I actually did this ahead of time, but I used my e-file just to etch out the inside. The reason I do this is so that it actually adheres a little bit better to the nail. So I'm going to add a nice little glob of glue to that inside, and then I'm going to put it on my sad little broken nail here at a 45-degree angle and press, and then I'm just going to hold this down until it dries, which shouldn't be too long. Yeah, that lighting on my face is real bad, guys. I'm sorry. I did not have time to do a proper setup on this, which is crazy, but I'm just happy to be here because I have really missed everybody over the last couple weeks. So very excited to be back and doing our live manicures. All right, so we've applied that. I'm just going to take my little cuticle nippers and I'm going to take off that little tabby tab there, like so. And then we are going to continue to apply. Now I am actually going to jump, no, I can't jump over and add in that link. I'll have to add in the product link afterwards, guys. I do apologize for not putting the tips in the caption, but they will be there by the time this replay is going. So that I can promise you. All right, so again, just applying the glue pretty generously through the bottom of the tip, like so. And then holding onto that tab, I'm just going to use a 45-degree angle and press. And again, we're just going to hold there until it dries. Easy peasy. Like I said, I just find these so much easier to work with than the full coverage. The full coverage can get a little messy and take a little bit more practice. These I find you can get on even if you're a beginner. They're pretty easy to use. So, all right, so I got my 2 tips on for my 2 broken nails there, and I'm going to take this little tabby tab off like so. Now the next thing I want to do is just shape them again. Oh my god, that paint looks awful. Guys, I swear there's nothing wrong with my finger. It is just paint that I can't get off. It's like in the worst spot. I've like scrubbed it with a nail brush so much and it just like, ugh, it's driving me crazy. Anyway, all right, back to the nails. So now I'm just going to shape these as best I can with you guys seeing. So I like to do kind of an almond oval type shape. Now I do have a little trick for this that I'm not using myself at the moment, but you can just mark with a pen the middle and then just bring your file into the middle there on either side, and that will help round it out. Dun, 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 dun. Now I actually want to shorten these because they're a little longer than I would like. Do, 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 do. Okay, we're getting there. We're a little lopsided, but we're getting there. Perfect. Okay. I will do an up close, guys, away from the camera because I can't see as well through the camera. It's very hard to do this looking through an iPhone camera, believe it or not. All right, now I'm just gonna quickly, well, I can see it up close to my face. I know you guys cannot see anything at the moment, and I do apologize. Da, 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 da. Now, one thing I do recommend when you're shaping your nails is to always check back and forth. This is going to make it so much easier to see exactly what it is you are doing, and give you a different angle so you can kind of see if anything looks a little lopsided that you have to fix. So there we go. Okay, so the other thing that you want to do is you just want to blend in the tips and rough up the top. So I'm just going to take my file. You can do this with an e-file if you have one, or you can just use a hand file like me. And we're just going to rough up the top. We want to blend in those edges into your natural nail. There you are, Debbie. I'm so happy you are here. How are you doing and how is your hubby doing? I hope everything is going well. I saw your comment the other day. I'm working with my makeshift office setup here for my nail studio until I get my new office built. So we're a little cramped in here, to say the least. All right. Just get up close so I can see. Here we go. Okay. We are good. Other than my little paint situation on the end there. But other than that, I am pleased. Now the other thing you can do is you can actually take a little acetone on a brush and rub it along that line there, and that will make it blend really seamlessly because it'll actually melt the tip kind of into the natural nail. So you can do that option as well. Generally I do that. I'm just kind of skipping that step tonight because I'm being a little lazy, you know. So we're going to keep on moving, and then we're going to get into the dipping now that I've got these nails on. So tonight's color, I wanted something bright, vibrant, fun. We're getting to the end of summer, so I just wanted something that would kind of like still put us in a summery mood, even though where I live in Ontario, Canada, it has been like fall weather. So we're going to, you know, bring back those summer vibes with a summer color. So I'm actually going to be doing Vogue by Revel Nail, which is like, it's bright, it's fun, it's like a purpley with a little pink tinge to it. So we're just using that color tonight to just do a simple manicure for our welcome back to doing Live's manicure tonight. All right, let's get these nails cleaned. So again, I'm just going in with my cleanser just to make sure I get any dust. It looks like I've got a little bit of residue from my previous manicure still on there, which is fine, but we'll get that cleaned up. Be so happy when I get that stinking paint off, let me tell you. All right, and then for tonight's liquids, I'm going to be using Sparkle & Co., one of my favorite liquid sets. These are just really nice to use, so highly recommend. Oh, good, Debbie. I'm so glad to hear that. That's awesome. Hopefully it's a fairly smooth recovery. All right, friends, so starting off, I'm just going to give my powder a little shake, get everything mixed up. And like I said, this is a bright, fun, summery purple to get us back into those summer vibes for the end of summer. So I'm going to go in with my base liquid, and you guys are going to see me working with my non-dominant hand at first. So we are going to go in and start that brush on the middle of the nail like we do. We're going to push back up to that cuticle area as close as the skin as possible without actually touching, and then pull forward, and then we are going to swoop those sides like so. Getting a nice thin even layer on that nail. And then we're going to go ahead and dip at that 45-degree angle. Tap it all off. And then I'm going to grab my trusty toothpick that has hopefully not run away on me yet. And we're just going to clean up those cuticle line area. Like so. And there's dip number 1 in the book. So we're going to continue this for each nail now. Now, I don't really have any good tricks for doing your dominant hand other than I highly recommend starting with your dominant hand. And I don't know why, but for some reason starting with your dominant hand just makes it easier when you first start. And I think it's just because you're a little bit more patient when you start your first manicure, so your concentration is there, which you need a little bit more of when you're working with your non-dominant hand, of course. So I don't know why that trick works. It got recommended to me when I started my dip nail journey. I've stuck with it, and it has worked really well for me ever since. So I highly recommend the same for anyone else on their dip nail journeys as well. All right, and continuing on. Color goes on so freaking nicely. It's just like a little fluffy powder. It's just nice. Now, if you do notice that there's still a little bit of wetness after you dip, you can go ahead and dip in again just to soak up a little bit more of that liquid, like so. And then we'll make sure that we clean these out because I do not want messy cuticle lines, of course. Running our whole manicure, can you imagine? There we go. Okay. cover up that paint that's hiding underneath my nail that I've not been able to scoop out yet. Ah, Kristen is here. Hello. I know it has been so long. It's been a whole thing trying to get this temporary office set up. So I haven't had a setup to even do a live for the last 2 weeks. So I've been MIA, but I am back. It's not ideal, but it works. So we're just working with it for now. I'm just happy to be here. And also, we will be doing our lives at this new time, 7:30 p.m. EST. Now that I'm back at home, it makes it a little bit easier to do them late, and I feel like that'll work better for most people's schedules. So, very excited to be doing these later on with everyone as well. All right. First layer done and done. So now that we have that, we're going to take a toothbrush. You can use any brush. I just prefer the toothbrush because I like the stiffer bristles. I find it does a much better job of getting in there and getting all the powder out of all the crevices. So I'm just going to take that. I'm just going to brush off all that excess powder. This is super important to make sure that you do not contaminate your base liquid. There we go. I love this color. It is so freaking pretty. Okay, so now we're going to go into our second dip. So for this next one, we are only going to go halfway up the nail. For those of you who are new to watching, I do follow what was nicknamed the TikTok method. All that means is that we're just building an apex shape on the nail. The reason that we do this is that it adds a little bit of strength to the nail and it adds longevity. Let's go with that. Well, it adds longevity to your manicure. So it's going to help it last a little bit longer. So that's the reason that we're going to follow this TikTok method to build up an apex on the nail. So we're going to go only halfway up the nail on this one. So I'm going to start my brush a little under halfway, push up to halfway, and paint that bottom half of the nail. Now, I also like to cap the edges on this dip as well. The reason that I do that is just to help avoid chips, which can also ruin a manicure very, very fast. There we go. And then we're just going to continue to do that on each finger like so. And cruise on through this lovely, simple one color manicure. I'm not gonna lie, I actually switched out my manicure last week because I had to put something on my nails just to make sure that I didn't fully break all of them, which obviously I managed to break a couple. So I've been rocking one color manicures, which I do love every once in a while just to have a little bit of a palette cleanser feel, but I'm itching to have some glitter and like a multicolor situation. And I'm not gonna lie, I am so ready for fall colors. I'm not ready for fall, let's be clear. I don't want to wish the summer away, but I am very excited to get into fall manicures because they are my favorite. Getting into like those wine colors, the deep reds and stuff. Ugh. The burnt oranges. It's my jam. I love it. Love it, love it. Okay. And just like that, we are done at dip number 2. I noticed that I've still got a little bit of wetness there, so I'm just going to throw it back in the powder just to soak up that rest of that liquid. We're getting there, my friends. We're getting there. Now I'm going to take my toothbrush and again, make sure that I'm brushing off all that excess powder between every single layer. I'm going to let the other one set a little bit longer before I go in with that brush because I do not want to mess it up before it is dry. So Like I said, we are following that TikTok method, so I'm going to continue to build an apex, and to do that now, I'm going to go into a 3/4 of the way dip. So we're going to go a little further up the nail this time, starting the brush at the halfway point and going up to about 3/4, pulling down and then painting that bottom 3/4 of the nail. And I do like to cap the edges on this dip as well. So I'm going to run the brush very lightly over that free edge. And then dip. Tap, 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 tap. And then I'm going to continue that on each finger until each one is complete. Perfect. And we are just moseying through. Look at us go. Okay. We're getting there, my friends. We're getting there. And with that done, we are ready for our 4th and final dip. So we've got our 3/4 dip done. So now I'm going to go into our final dip, which is going to be the entire nail again. So we're going to go in and just brush off all that excess powder one more time. Again, I'm just going to leave the last 2 fingers so that they can dry a little bit more before I go in and brush them off so I don't mess anything up. And then we're going to again start that brush in the middle of the nail. Push up towards that cuticle area without touching the skin, but getting very close. And then swooping the sides. Getting a nice even layer on there. And dipping into the powder. And because I have done a full dip, I'm going to make sure that I clean out that cuticle line just in case we got anything, places we do not want it to go. Like so. And we're just going to continue on doing each nail. Oh, I just realized we lost my face. Here we go. All right, so perfect. me brush these two off because I have forgotten before and it is not a good thing. Okay. We are just about done dipping with the non-dominant hand. And this is what I mean by it's always good to start with this one because it just feels like you've accomplished a lot when you get this one done and all you have left to do is the easier hand. So that is why I highly recommend starting with this one. It just makes it so much easier. This nail looks like it's going to need a little buffing. We've done it, my friends. We have done it. All right. So now I'm just going to let those dry for a minute. Hello, Jana. It's so good to see you. Yes, we are starting at my new time, which granted I was later today because I was having technical difficulties getting everything going. But yeah, we're going to be starting these at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time now that I'm back home. So it makes it a little bit easier. I'm hoping the later time works for everybody. Fingers crossed. I just thought it'd be nice. I thought it'd be nice to kind of end the evening with everyone. And then also for those who are in kind of an earlier time zone, it makes it easier for you to jump in because otherwise it would have been like 2:30 PST before when we were doing these. So it makes it a little harder. All right, so now that we have all of our layers on, I'm going to grab my activator and I'm going to apply a generous coat to each nail. And for those of you who are new to dip powder, this is the reason that we do not need a UV light because the liquid is actually what solidifies everything and cures it to the nail. Oh, we have some buffing to do today, I could tell. It's always a little rough going on the other hand, you know what I mean? And this is the beauty is even if you don't dip it on perfectly, you can buff just about anything. So that makes it possible to have a really nice manicure, even if it doesn't go on crazy smooth. So do not fret if you've got some imperfections in your application initially, because this baby right here, it's going to solve all your problems. So this is a curve file. Highly recommend these. I do have the link shared in the caption below for these curve files. The reason I like them is the curve shape makes it a little easier to get around that cuticle area so you don't scratch up your skin as much, which is very appreciated. So to start, I'm just going to go around the cuticle area and get that all blended in like so. And then I'm going to go down just the one side. And then I'm going to go down the other side. Make sure I don't have any little ski bumps. If I do, I'm just going to go down kind of the center there. Perfect. And then I'm going to sharpen up my shape just by running along the edge there. And because I can never see fully from this angle, I'm just going to do my up close very quickly on each nail so that I can make sure that I get it nice and straight. Because it's so hard to see around that camera, let me tell you. Oh my gosh. All right, perfect. And then I'm going to repeat that process on each nail. guys. I'm trying to make sure that you can see as much as possible, which is, like I said, difficult around the camera. Okay, so I'll get that blended in. I'm just gonna go down the sides. Okay, give me 2 seconds to go up close just to make sure everything is doing what it should be doing. And again, guys, I like to just do that kind of this method that I always show, just to check from all angles that it looks okie dokie. Da, da, da. Okay. Okay, feeling good about that. Okay, we'll continue on. We are getting there. 2 down, 3 to go. Okay, again, it's going around those sides, up close, doing my inspection. Does anybody else need to be like right here? I know I've shown that before, but like sometimes I feel like I got to be like right in front of my eyeballs to really see it. I don't know what that is. I mean, I'm obviously a little blind, but at the same time, like I have this thing where I'm like, I really just need it right in front of my face so I can actually see what's going on. Okay. We are getting there, friends. We are getting there. 2 more. Okay, and again, just going up close to sharpen that shape and see what the heck it is I'm doing. All right. Okay, and this one is just like a mess. I'm just going to show you guys. Let's use the magic of buffing to sort this baby out because she is all over the place. Doesn't even look like my shape carried over. Like, what even happened? Oh, there we go. It's just like a weird... I don't know. I don't know what happened with this nail. She just got weird. But we're fixing it. Look how much better it looks already. We're getting there. Kind of this weird little spot at the top too that got all strange. Oh yeah, now we're talking. Look at that. So much better. It looks like a properly shaped nail. I'm so proud. Amazing. Okay, so now I'm just gonna take my little bitty orange buffer block and give these nails a nice buff. And then we'll be ready to top coat and then move on to the other hand. Ooh, we did it. I find it easier just to hold the buffer block still and then move your actual hand when working with the non-dominant hand, just so that it's, I don't know, I just find it a little easier because it's like so awkward to try to move your non-dominant hand with the buffer. So it is easier if you do just move your finger instead. Heather Dangerfield is here, and I'm so happy to see you. Amazing! You found me at the new time. That's awesome. All right, friends. One more quick up close to make sure that we are all good in the hood, and then we're going to top coat these. Amazing. I'm so happy. Wait, I'm not so happy. There's a weird thing going on here with my shape. I do not like. 1 second. I'll be so happy in just a moment. What is happening? Okay, alright. We're sorting it out. We're sorting it out. Okay, there we go. That's better. It had like a little weird doohickey thing in it. I did not like. All right. This I can live with. All right, my friends. Thank you. Oh, is it Jana? It could be. I mean, this is my first one at home, so I'm wondering if it's... Is it just the nail camera? Because I can kind of see it on mine. I think it's my nail cam. I don't... Here, 1 second. Let's try unplugging and plugging it back in. Let's do this. Is that helping? It's still kind of glitching. Okay. I don't know why. Hopefully that's a little better. I know when I move it, I can see it on my actual display. I'm gonna have to figure out what is going on. Sorry, Jana. Thank you, Heather. I love this color as well. This is Vogue by Rebel Nail. Oh, Jana, it could have been me because, like I said, I just switched to doing these at home, so I just got my setup done, and this is kind of our maiden voyage, which has not gone super smooth, to be honest, because I was late because a bunch of things were not working. So we're just trying to sort it out. So it could be me as well. But I did notice that the nail cam was making weird glitchiness, and I don't know why. So that I will have to look into. But for now, I'm going to top coat these. So I'm going to take my activator again, and I'm going to apply activator to each nail. That is now super duper smooth. God, I love this color. So pretty, it's so fun. Oh, my nail cam just wants to go out completely. Love that for me. There we go. Okay. I love technology. Like, I love what it can do for us, but when it doesn't want to work, it is a real B. Let's call it what it is. Alright, so now that we've added the activator, I'm just going to go in with a lint-free wipe again. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to wipe away all that excess activator. The reason that we want to wipe away excess is it will reduce your chances of contaminating that top coat. So I've done that. We're going to wait about a minute. I'm going to grab my glossy top coat, and then we're going to apply this in 2 layers. So the first layer, I like to limit contact time with the brush. So with the nail, the contact time with the brush and the nail. Again, this is to reduce chances of contaminating that top coat. So we're just going to do 3 very, very quick strokes on that first layer, and then we're going to go in right away with the second layer. So for this one, like I said, we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, and then continue that for each nail. And now I'm going to go in and do this properly. So starting at the back, pushing back, pulling forward, and making sure that we actually apply it nicely to the nail. The other thing that is so important on this step is to make sure that you cap the edges like so. So you're just going to run that brush over the free edge. And that will make sure that we avoid getting any nasty chips. And then once this is done, we are done hand number 1, and we will move on to hand number 2. The easier hand, because we are now done working with our non-dominant hand, which is always nice. There we go, friends. A little bit of Vogue action in our lives. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna give that a second to dry. The nice thing with dip liquids, they take like 2 minutes to dry, which is so nice because I am impatient, quite frankly. I don't like to wait for things, so I love that this dries so fast. Definite sell point for using dip liquids, that's for sure. Amazing. All right. That should be good. Okay, so now let's go in with the other hand. So I'm going to grab my cleanser again. Again, guys, I've linked that my nail prep tutorial in the caption, so you can check that out, and also how I make that DIY nail cleanser at home. It's just a mixture of alcohol and acetone. The reason that I like to use a mixture of both is they each take off different oils and take out moisture from the nail, so it just makes it a little bit easier for your dip to stick and adhere and not lift on you, which is also very appreciated for a good long-lasting manicure. So let's get into it. We're gonna do the same process on the other side. This time it's gonna be obviously a little faster because we're working with our proper dominant hand this time, so it's gonna make it a little easier. So let's get into it, shall we? So just like last time, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do a full dip on the entire hand. So starting in the middle, pushing back, pulling forward, swooping those sides, and dipping into the powder at a nice 45-degree angle. Tap off that excess. Grab your toothpick and trace out that cuticle area. And then we're going to continue on with each nail. We are cruising through this side, my friends. Come on now, Cam. Don't do this. Now is not the time. There she is. She's back. All right. Dip number 1. There we go. So now, just like last time, I'm going to take that toothbrush and I'm just going to brush all the excess powder off of each nail. And then we're going to go in, like I said, just like last time, we're going to build up that apex. So we're going to go in with a half dip this time. So I'm going to take my brush and just start below the halfway point. Push up, pull forward. And dip. Also, I just realized that there is an insanely long delay on this video. So I apologize if I'm answering questions in the chat very late, because for some reason I'm over here working on my other hand, and yet you guys are seeing me still working on the other hand. So I'm not sure what's going on, but like I said, we're gonna sort out this, I promise. Things is crazy. There we go. So we got dip number 2 in the books. So I'm just going to go ahead and wipe off all that excess. And then we're going to go into dip number 3. So again, going 3/4 of the way up the nail again. So starting that brush at the halfway point, pushing up to 3/4, pulling down, and painting that bottom 3/4 of the nail. Again, I do like to cap the edges on these particular dips just to help avoid any issues with, you know, chipping, lifting at the edge, all those things that we absolutely despise because it ruins our manicure that we worked so hard on. There we go. There we go. We're getting through it, friends. Doesn't take too long once you get the hang of it. That's the nice thing.